Support for Radio Friends comes from Le Brunnery Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact Le Brunnery Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, May the 10th. We've got a couple of great people here from Capital City Productions, and I want to introduce you to Mike Azar, who is a director of this particular show, and CURTIS SUDDUTH, who has a beautiful singing voice. You're here to tell us about Tick, 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 Boom, right? What is this?
Tick, Tick, Boom is a show written by Jonathan Larson, who wrote Rent. So if you're familiar with the musical Rent, this is the writer of that show. It follows the story of John, the main character, who is kind of struggling to come to terms with his life. His 30th birthday is coming up, and he needs to decide whether it is time to get a real job and kind of grow up or continue down his journey of writing the great American musical.
Okay, and Curtis, you have the lead role.
I do not. I play a supporting role. I play Michael, his best friend.
Oh, you're his best friend of the leading role.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about your character.
So my character started out as an actor, a struggling actor, and he was a struggling composer. And then my character decides to, this is enough. No more starving. I'm going to, get a real job, quote unquote, a real job, and make money, and be able to survive.
And do you?
Yes, the character, yes. He leaves the arts and goes into a executive marketing job.
But
and
that's kind of sad, though.
It is. It is in a way, but, for him, I think it's more important to, just be able to survive. And
I understand. I understand. But the thought of getting a real job,
Right.
That's difficult. I think of that, with all the years I was doing Pepper and Friends and now this, I couldn't have a real job. This is fun.
Do you follow your passion or do you go make money?
How do you feel about directing this show?
I enjoy directing. It's a 3-person show, so there is no small part in the show. Don't let him fool you. He's still a leading role.
Yeah.
How
many songs?
14 songs.
Yeah.
So we have a full band backed up with them, and then Emma Tracy, who plays the girlfriend of Jonathan, is the third person.
Okay.
So between the 3 of them, they play 2 or 3 different characters each.
Wow.
They're in and out of doing stuff.
So you got to be very, very talented. Very talented. We're just about out of time, but if people want to see this show, there's also dinner with it, right?
This is the spots on the artists. There is no dinner with this one. It is just $25 to come see the show. It's May 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Okay.
And it's Capital City Productions in Jefferson City.
And how do they get tickets?
Online at ccpjc.org.
Got it. What is the main reason people should come to this production?
So this is not your typical stuffy musical. This is more of a rock show with a full band and funny, humorous cast. This is meant to be more open to maybe younger audiences, not kids, but
the
college
people.
Kids or not the traditional musical audience.
All right, it's Tick Tick Boom. Thank you so much for coming by Capital City Production.
Thanks for having us.
Break a leg.
Thank you.
All right, now I want to introduce you to, for the first time on our program, hopefully he'll be coming back from time to time, though, Dr. Satish Kalanjeri. And the doctor is Chief of Interventional Pulmonology at Truman Veterans Hospital. Welcome to Radio Friends, Doctor.
Thank you, Paul.
We were talking briefly before we started the interview that you're doing something over at the VA hospital that is unique to Columbia and this area. Tell us about it.
Thanks, Paul. That is correct. At the Truman VA, the hospital has introduced several new advanced and cutting-edge technologies. And, as a lung doctor, with my colleagues and our wonderful team there, we've introduced some cutting-edge technologies as well. And one such technology, in the interest of time, that I'd like to mention is something called robotic bronchoscopy.
What is that?
Now, a traditional bronchoscopy is passing a thin, flexible tube with a camera attached to its end called a bronchoscope into a patient's breathing tubes, and then trying to get to the center or the edge of the lung to take a biopsy of the lung. This is because on CAT scans or CT scans of the chest, often abnormal spots called lung nodules are detected. And sometimes these spots can turn out to be cancer, and therefore it is very important to get a biopsy of these spots to either prove this is cancer or rule out cancer. And one method of taking a biopsy from these abnormal spots is to do a bronchoscopy. But a traditional bronchoscopy is not accurate, and therefore we have introduced something called robotic bronchoscopy, which is in an advanced technology which can guide the bronchoscope precisely, exactly to the area of the lung that we want the biopsy to be taken from.
Are you watching this on a live camera as it's going down through the body?
That is exactly correct.
Are you then, when you're watching it, are you guiding it to where you want it to go?
That is right. With a traditional bronchoscopy, we use our hands, so we guide it manually. But with a robotic bronchoscopy, we either use a joystick or a trackball kind of arrangement to guide the tube precisely where we want it to go.
Is the patient completely under when you're doing this, or are they awake?
I hope so. Yep, they're completely under.
They're completely under.
Yeah.
It's not something that you could do while they're...
A traditional bronchoscopy sometimes can be done when they're sedated, but this one, since it requires a lot of precision, we want them to be absolutely still. And I've not had a single patient who has regretted being completely under.
Yeah, well, I can imagine that. I would want to be if I had to have it. But are you finding that it is much more accurate than the traditional?
So far, that has been our experience, and we're actually delighted to have this technology because we've been able to get much better results than before.
Yeah, and it's the only place in central Missouri.
Yes, and I hope that's not the case for long. I hope a lot more centers get it, but for now, you're right. We're the only center that uses this technology.
I appreciate you sharing that with us today, Doctor. And we have like 30 seconds left. Is there anything else that you just want to mention briefly?
Yes, I'd like to thank our veterans for their service. They've done a lot for us, and the Truman VA is, and the leadership and the wonderful team there is dedicated to providing them with the very best care there is.
Well, thank you. And obviously, you care with your heart and soul as to what you're doing. I appreciate it so much. And if you want more information, you can go to columbiamold.va.gov. Doctor, thank you so much, and please come back again.
Thank you very much, Paul.
We're out of time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.